Om Shanti. Good morning, Diamond Morning. So we are very fortunate this morning to have our dear sister Pratiba Ben from, well, I'm going to say Nairobi, but actually she is really from many places in Africa. Om Shanti Pratiba Ben, a very warm welcome, not only from the South African family, but there are many souls that are connected this morning. And we are accustomed to seeing you from time to time, but it feels like a very long time since you have been with your feet on this land. So even though many of us are not seeing you face to face in the physical form, it's very, very lovely to know that you're here and that you bring Baba's power and Baba's blessings to all of us. So a very warm welcome. It is really such a pleasure to have you. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Belinda Ben and the South African family. It's really a pleasure to be here, although it's completely a different scene in drama. Today, we are listening to Baba's Avyakt Murli from 1988. Today is 4th July 2021. And so it's interesting how when we came to Baba, we were listening to Sakar Murli, which was revised. And we never realized that with time, we will be listening to Avyakt Murlis, which are revised also. And so when we listen to today's Murli, we really feel Baba is giving us signals for this present time, although it was given in 1988. First, we will listen to Baba's Murli and then share a few inspirations. The revised date is 30th of January, 1988. Last weekend, Baba talked about Brahma Baba and his surrendering. To what extent Baba surrendered and what is the definition of surrender? Today, Baba is talking about the second step, that is courage and tolerance. And Baba is defining tolerance in a very beautiful way, making it very easy rather than difficult, because a lot of Brahmins say they can't tolerate, they do not have courage. So the second step of courage is tolerance, life story of Brahma Baba. Today, the Almighty Authority Father is seeing his first elevated creation. The first creation of Brahmins and Brahma is said to be first number of the first creation. Because of being the first number of the first creation, Brahma is called Adidev. There is also a memorial of this name Adidev on Abu Mountain. He's called Adidev, that is the first creation, and as well as that, Adidev also means that he is the first number deity at the start of the new world. It is Brahma who becomes the first deity in the form of Sri Krishna. This is why he's called the first deity at the start of the new world. At the confluence age 2, he's the first number of the first creation. That is, whether you call him Adidev or Brahma, he's the creator of Brahmin souls. So he is the first one at the confluence age and also at the start of the world. And so he's called Adidev. It is Brahma who becomes the first Karmatit angel. Brahma becomes an angel, and that angel becomes a deity. He is number one in everything. How did he become number one in this way? With what method did he attain number one success? All of you Brahmin souls have to follow Brahma. What do you have to follow him in? You have already been told about his first step of surrender. He demonstrated this too in his first step by surrendering in every way. The second step is tolerance. When he surrendered himself, of course, he received the most elevated inheritance from the Father. But what did he receive from the people of the world? Who was showered with the most insults on the path of worshipping? That memorial is for Krishna, but really is the last birth of Krishna, that is Brahma Baba, who was showered with the most insults. Even though you souls were insulted or assaulted, it was Brahma who continued to receive the most anger. In his Lokik life, he had never heard a bad word. But when he became Brahma, he became number one in having to hear bad words. He had led a life where he received the most love from everyone. But to the extent that he was loved by everyone in his Lokik life, everyone became his enemy in his Alokik life. When some children were assaulted, that was automatically also an assault on the father indirectly. However, with the virtue of tolerance or with the inculcation of tolerance, he remained smiling. He never wilted. To smile when someone praises you is not being tolerant. However, to remain smiling at a time when someone becomes an angry enemy and rains insults on you, and you do not show the slightest sign of wilting on your face or even in your thoughts, that is said to be having tolerance. Today's Baba's Murli is full of dharna. To see, speak, and start a connection with merciful feelings with an enemy soul is called having tolerance. Of course, Baba never considered anyone to be an enemy. The opposite soul definitely felt that, and Baba's talking about that. In the task of establishment and of doing service, there were sometimes small and sometimes big storms. As a memorial in the scriptures, they have portrayed Mahavir, Hanuman carrying such a big mountain on the palm of his hand, just like a ball. In the same way, no matter if the problem, obstacle, or a storm seems like a big mountain, a mountain means to make a big thing into a small toy and over it as you would in a game. Or he made anything big become something very light. He remained light himself and he also made others light. This is called tolerance. He didn't make a small stone into a mountain, but made a mountain into a ball. He put the expansion into its essence. This is tolerance. To expand obstacles and problems in your mind or to speak about them to others means to make mountains. However, he did not go into expansion, but with the full stop of nothing new, he put a full stop and moved forward. This is called putting expansion into its essence. An elevated, tolerant soul is always able to put expansion, problems, and obstacles into the essence with knowledge and yoga, just as Brahma Baba did. When you go on a long route, it flakes up like your time and energy. It flakes up all your time and energy. That is a lot more of both are used. In the same way, expansion is a long route, and in the essence is achieved by taking a shortcut. Both are able to go across, but because those who take a shortcut are able to save the time and energy, they don't become disheartened. They constantly enjoy themselves and overcome everything with a smile. This is called tolerance. Someone with the power of tolerance would never be afraid or think, does this also happen? Because of being constantly full, you will go into the depth of knowledge and remembrance. Someone who is afraid is never able to go into the depths. One with essence remains constantly full. This is why there is depth in something full. One with expansion is empty. This is why something empty always rattles. So, someone with expansion would constantly continue to rattle on with thoughts such as, why this? What is this? It shouldn't be like this, but like this, it should not be like this. He would continue to rattle on in this way in his thoughts and in his words too. He would still constantly rattle on in front of everyone. What happens when you rattle on aimlessly? Breathless and you tire yourself out. Those who are tolerant are saved from all of those things. And this is why they always enjoy themselves. They don't rattle on, they fly. Look at the two differences. Huh? The second step of tolerance. Brahma Baba demonstrated this by taking this step. He always remained unshakable and immovable. He always enjoyed himself in an easy way and didn't have to labor. The children who did 14 years of tapasya experienced this. Did you feel it was 14 long years? Or did you feel it was just like a few moments? Did you enjoy it? Or did it feel like hard work? Baba took many test papers of physical labor too. There is a vast difference between being those who were raised as if they were royalty and being those who made the cow dung patties for the fire and who were made mechanics. He also made you sew slippers. He made you into shoemakers and gardeners. In between, I would like to share my little experience with Dadi Nirmal Shanta, where she was one day in the 14 years time, she was sharing with us when I was under training with her that she was sitting out waiting for the brother Bhau Kishore to go to the city. And so Baba asked, "Child, why are you sitting here?" And she said, "I have a broken slipper and I want to send it for mending it to the cobblers." And so Baba looked at Nirmal Shanta Dadi. He never looked at her as her Lokik daughter, but with a Lokik vision, and said, "Child, you do not even have sense as much as a cobbler, and you want to go to Golden Age and be an empress in the kingdom there. You're depending on a cobbler. So how will that work?" And it was completely something different Nirmal Shanta Dadi had expected from Brahma Baba. Because she thought she was never ever in her Lokik life going to wear a slipper which was mended. And she thought she was one step ahead. But here Brahma Baba completely told her something else. And Nirmal Shanta Dadi was sharing with us that since then, she had the duty to sew slippers for all the Yagya members. That was her duty. So he made you into shoemakers and gardeners too. However, was that labor or pleasure? You overcame everything, but you always experienced it to be a life of pleasure. Those who become confused ran away, whether those who remained in pleasure are giving many others the experience of the life of pleasure. Of pleasure. Even now, if those 14 years were to be repeated, you would like that, would you not? However, now, if someone has to do even a little physical work at the center, they think, "This is why I renounced everything? Am I meant to do this work? To live one's life in pleasure is said to be a Brahmin life. whether it is ordinary physical work, whether you have to give a speech on a stage to thousands of people. Do both with pleasure. This is called living a life of pleasure, not to be confused and think, I didn't think that to surrender would mean I would have to do all of this. I came here as a teacher. I didn't renounce everything to do this physical work. This is all, is this all a Brahma Kumari life is? This is called a life of confusion. To become a Brahma Kumari means to live with pleasure in your heart, not with physical pleasures. With pleasure in your heart, you will be able to transform any situation or task that is causing confusion into a pleasure. Although you have elevated facilities and everything you have is clear, if you yourself are constantly confused, you create confusion in something that is very clear. While having good facilities, you won't be able to take pleasure in those facilities. How will this happen? This will not happen like this, but like this. You will be confused yourself about that, and you will also confuse others. It is said, when a thread is tangled, confused, it is with great difficulty that you're able to untangle it. You would be confused about something good and also about something that causes fear because your attitude is confused and your mind is confused. Your attitude automatically then affects your vision. And because of your vision, you see the world as being confused too. Baba's defined it so clearly that Brahma Kumari life doesn't mean this facilities and pleasure. But in spite of that, look at the yajna where it has moved from. In the early days of starting a center, we didn't have anything, but we were so happy with whatever we had. And now it's so opposite. We have everything and we're still as happy, enjoying every moment. A Brahma Kumari life means a life of pleasure, like that of Brahma, Father Brahma. However, the basis of this is tolerance. So tolerance is very special. Because of this speciality, Father Brahma always remained unshakable and immovable. You have been told of two papers of tolerance. The first paper was of the bad words and assaults from people. The second one was of the different obstacles that came in establishing the yajna. The third was that some Brahmin children became traitors and created opposition because of their discontentment about small or large matters. However, in this too, with the feeling of satisfying those who were discontent, and by considering them to be influenced by something else, by having benevolent feelings and the silent power of tolerance, he made each one move forward. He still taught the lesson of tolerance with sweetness. good wishes, and pure feelings to those who came to oppose him. When someone opposed him one day and came the next day to ask for forgiveness with words emerging from his lips, Baba is truly Baba. That is said to be making those who fail pass with tolerance and to pass through the obstacles. So you heard about the second step. For what? So that you can place your steps in his steps. This is known as follow Father, or to become equal to the Father. Do you want to become this, or do you just want to observe from the distance? I remember in the 70s, late 70s, Dadiji had invited all the anti-Om Mandli souls, those who created so much obstacles in the Yajna, invited them to Madhuban. And I met this old brother sitting at the Tower of Peace. I was sitting there too. And he was sitting there, old brother, crying. And I asked, Dada, why are you crying? And he was really crying. So he said, I am from the NTO Mandli. And Dadiji was so sweet and Baba was so sweet to invite me. And he was remembering Brahma Baba because sitting at the Tower of Peace. And he said, look what Baba did and look what I did. So I am regretting and repenting. That's why I have these tears. But Dadi still invited me to Madhuban, and here I am. So that is what they felt. You are courageous, are you not? Punjab, Maharashtra, both are courageous. All are courageous. All you people from this land and abroad, call yourselves Mahavirs. If any of you were to be called part of the infantry, would you accept that? This proves that all of you consider yourselves to be Mahavirs. To be a Mahavir means to be equal to the Father. Do you understand? Acha. To all the souls from this land and abroad who are equal to the Father and constantly have surrendered intellects. To those who always remain tolerant in every situation and with everyone, and who makes every big situation into something small and easily overcome it. To those who put in any expansion into its essence. To those who constantly live the Brahmin life as a life of pleasure. To such elevated Mahavir souls who become equal to the Father, Bapdada's love-filled love, remembrance, and namaste, together with the blessing, may you become equal. Such a beautiful blessing. Follow Brahma Baba, may you become equal. Bapdada meeting groups to the Kumars. 1. What is the speciality of a Kumar? What is the speciality of Kumars? A Kumar life is an elevated life because it is a pure life. And where there is purity, there is greatness. A Kumar means to be powerful, to be someone who is able to do whatever he has the thought to do. A Kumar means to be one who is always free from bondage and make others free from bondage. You have such specialities, do you not? You can put whatever thought you have into practice. You remain pure yourselves, and you can also tell others the importance of remaining pure. You can become instruments for such service. What people of the world consider to be impossible, you Brahma Kumars issue this challenge. No one can be as pure as we are. Why? Because it is the Almighty Authority who makes you that. No matter how much people of the world try, they cannot become as pure as you. You have easily become pure. It feels easy, does it not? Or do you also say, like the people of the world, that it is unnatural? Do you feel that? The definition of a Kumar is one who issues a challenge. Those who demonstrate this by transforming themselves in a practical way. That ones who make the ones who make impossible possible. Other people take their companions into bad company, whereas you bring them into the Father's company. You don't color them with your company, you color them with the Father's company. You make them equal to the Father. You're like that, are you not? Acha. 2. A Kumar means one who is constantly unshakable and immovable. No matter what type of situations come, you are not those who fluctuate, because your companion, the Father Himself, the companion is the Father Himself. No one will always be, one will always be unshakable and immovable when the Father is there. When the Almighty Authority is there, there will be all the powers. Maya cannot do anything in front of all the powers. Therefore, a Kumar life means to be one with a constant stage. No one who not one who fluctuates. Those who fluctuate are not able to claim the imperishable fortune of the kingdom. You would receive a little happiness, but not for all time. Therefore, a Kumar life means to be constantly unshakable and to have a stable stage. So, is your stage stable, or is your intellect fooled by other tastes? You are those who experience all sweetness in the one Father. This is called being constant and stable, focused on one, that is unshakable and immovable. Only the children who have such a stable stage are loved by the Father. So always remember that you souls are unshakable and immovable, those who stay in a stable stage. To the mothers, 1. What is the easy path that Bap Dada has shown your mothers through which you can easily experience remembrance of the Father and not have to labor? What is the means to make remembrance easy? Say with your heart, my Baba. When you say mine, you have easy remembrance. Throughout the whole day, you remember whatever is mine, do you not? If someone or something belongs to you, where you feel that it belongs to you, you would remember that. And this way, if you say, my Father, you will then only remember the Father. So, that is an easy way to remember the Father. Say with your heart, my Baba. Do not simply say mine, mine in words, but say it with right. Make this easy effort and continue to move forward. Always be an easy yogi using this method. Say mine and become a master of the Father's treasures. 2. Mothers, do you constantly consider yourselves to be multi-million times fortunate? Baba is putting a lot of intoxication in us. You found the Father while sitting at home, and so it is such great fortune. People of the world go out looking for God, whereas you found him while sitting at home. So did you ever even think that you would receive such great fortune? It is remembered that God was found while they were sitting at home. Who is that a memorial of? It is your memorial, is it not? So constantly keep this elevated fortune in your awareness and continue to move forward. How do we move forward? Wow, my elevated fortune. Continue to sing the songs of happiness. Continue to swing in the swings of happiness. Continue to sing and dance in happiness. This is the way I go forward. 3, with the mothers, what happiness do the Shaktis always have? I am constantly combined with the Father. Shiv Shakti means to be combined. The Father and I, both together, are referred to as Shiv Shakti. So those who are combined cannot be separated by anyone. Do you have such happiness? The Father has made weak souls powerful. So always remember that you have claimed a right to remain combined. Previously, you were those who were searching for him, whereas you have now become those who stay with him. Always have this intoxication. No matter how much Maya tires you, Maya cannot do anything in front of Shiv Shakti. If you remain separate, Maya will come. So remain combined and Maya cannot come. Therefore, always remember this blessing. You are the victorious Shiv Shaktis who remain constantly combined. Blessing, may you put your loose connection right. And instead of being confused, become free from problems. The main reason for all problems is having the loose connection. Simply put the connection right, and all the powers will circle around you. If it takes 1 or 2 minutes to make the connection, do not lose courage and become confused. Do not shake the foundation of faith. I am Baba's, and Baba is mine. Make your foundation strong on this basis and you will become free from problems. Slogan: to remain stable in the seed stage is the way to transform old sanskaras. And to be stable in the seed stage means essenseful, to be essenseful. Baba says go into essence and not expansion. And that will help me to transform my old sanskaras. Om Shanti. So I personally always feel that the field which we've been given by drama, the field of Africa, I wouldn't say that all African countries are like that. That is wrong. We've got all the luxuries of the world, which Papa was talking about, and we also have the most challenging situations in not only Africa anyway, and we call that Iron Age, but we are in Conference Age, so we never feel the heat of Iron Age, but the love and the warmth of Baba. Before I go into that, I would like to read this point. In order to make your yoga volcanic, become the point form in 1 second and repeatedly practice concentrating your mind and intellect. As soon as you say stop, let your mind and intellect become concentrated from any waste and body consciousness. Use such controlling power through the whole day. Control your mind and intellect with a powerful break. Let your mind and intellect be fixed wherever you want in a second. So I was sharing about our service field. Every field in the world has one challenge or the other, and one comfort or the other. But Baba wants to bring us beyond that challenges and that comfort and make us into a balanced soul. And so ever since I've been serving, of course, in Africa and around the world, but more in Africa. And I remember when I met Bap Dada in Madhuban, when I was just newly surrendered, Baba had asked me, are you a lioness or are you a lamb? And when Baba asked me that, I said, Baba, I'm a lioness. Baba says a lot of temptations would come. And just say Baba, and all your temptations would go, all your exams would go, problems would go. This Baba told me 1977. And so I used to use that technique. Just say Baba from your heart. And I'll give you my very recent experience. When we were doing the pause for peace, and Vedanti asked me that, actually she shared her feeling that I want to cover whole of Africa. I don't even want one country to be left out. I remember when we did Letter to God, Write to God, we did cover the continent, but that was different. It was like people used letters from newspaper and they sent it. So we would say, we received letters from this many countries in Africa. Not that the Brahmin went and put a footstep there. And so her thought was that. So she told me, you're in Nairobi, can you look for other countries and start going so that, our countries are covered up and we bring this message across? So I was looking at the map and I said, all right, so now we have Horn of Africa because we covered North Africa and all that. So now let me go to Horn of Africa. And a lot of people keep on asking, will you get visas there? How will you get visa? Have you got contacts? I said, no, I don't have contacts, but visas I will get. So I paused for myself, not thinking that I will not get visas. Whenever I went to the embassy to get the visa, I would tell myself, Pratiba, you've already got it, Kalpa go, and you'll get it, don't worry. And I actually got it. I got and I planned the trip and I started my trip. I started from Ethiopia, Sudan, Eritrea, and then I came to Djibouti and Somaliland and Somalia. Mogadishu was my last stop. And of course, the moment people hear the word Somalia, people wonder, not only wonder, but it was interesting when I was taking the flight from Somaliland to Somalia, but via Addis Ababa. So it was Addis Ababa and then Mogadishu. In the queue, there were only men. And of course, we are souls, we know that. But the world is not soul conscious. So they were all looking at me in a very strange manner. What is this lady going to do in Somalia? And they would see an Indian body, they would see the sari, and wondering what I was going to do in Somalia. And Somalia has red zone and green zone. And so we can't go into the red zone, out of question. I tried a couple of times, but even to be in green zone, you have to be very careful. And I always felt, of course, I didn't want to be careless, but I always felt whatever experience I get on the field of service, it is just to prove that Baba is my constant companion. That's why I get these experiences or obstacles or problems. Anyway, just before the day I was going to fly to Somalia, there was a bomb, car bomb, blasted in Mogadishu. And a lot of people told me, you shouldn't go, you just stop, cancel. I said, no, I must take this message there to my brothers and sisters. And I had no idea what I was going to do, but I got a hotel in green zone. So they came to pick me up. I went into the hotel. It was a Turkish hotel. The manager was Turkish, but the staff was all local and mainly airline people. So those who were like airline crews, I started doing pause for peace for them next day in the morning. Then I met the manager and I told the manager, I want to do this with your staff. He said yes. And he organized that. He said, do it with me also. So I did it with him also. But then I wanted to go into red zone. And he warned me, you are our guest, you can't go to the red zone. And just next day, one of the staff from that hotel was coming from home to work. And they told me that he was involved in a car bomb and they lost him. So of course they were Somali staff and they would, be living in the red zone. So he died in that. We had a moment of silence, but it was quite a sad environment. I knew I could not go into Mogadishu, the red zone. But I said, at least I need to go around in the green zone also. So I was walking and I was walking. The only thing I had in my hand was my handbag with my documents and money. And I was walking around. I had no idea that it was an area, even in the green zone, where I can't just walk like that. And so suddenly, about 5 soldiers with huge machine guns came around me and surrounded me, circled me. And they were saying something, but of course in the language, and I couldn't understand. And they were pointing the machine gun like this. And I was like, what did I do? I don't know. I was just walking. And they told me to put the bag down, throw the bag. So I threw the bag, and then they showed me the machine gun like this and said, go there, you know. And there was a sniff dog. So the sniff dog sniffed my bag. They took the bag and put it in the X-ray. And then they told me to go through the X-ray. And then they came to me, and one was speaking English. So he said, we're very sorry, but you can't walk here. And we just realized that you had a bag. Mainly suicidal bombers walk around with a bag. I had no idea about that. So they thought I was one of them. And that's why they circled me. But it was quite shocking because I was just walking so leisurely, and suddenly they circled me with these guns, and they were soldiers, and I didn't know what. So I was like just standing there. And I said, Baba, what did I do? And they then apologized and said, you can't come in this area. I said, I'm sorry. And they told me, go back to your hotel. And I walked. And I was in a shock, actually. Not that I was so comfortable and light as Baba mentioned. I went into the hotel. I sat in a corner in a lounge, and I actually, remembered Baba, and I made myself calm. And then I was like, look at Baba the way he is, my constant companion. Baba was with me. Nothing worst happened. And I was calming myself in that way. And Baba asked today in the Murli, if you have to go back into the 14 years, would you like to go back? Hmm? After such lovely Madhuban environment and all that? That was also very nice because Sakar Baba and Mamma were there. But no facilities, just a very simple life. Madhuban now has all the facilities. And so, would you like to go back? And the dadis would love to go back. Why? Because of constant companionship experience, Baba's constant company and experience that Baba is with me. So similarly, I would not say that wherever I had any such experiences on the field of service, I would not say I will not go again ever there. If drama takes me back, I'd be very happy to go, because whatever Baba shares in the Murli is theory for us. For Baba, of course, it is practical from a Baba, but for us, it's theory. And the service field is not a service field only for bringing other souls and connect them to Baba. That is one way of doing it. The service field for me is to go through all these things. One, I always feel on the service field, we have sanskara clashes, and it is there for me to, take care of my sanskaras and bring harmony. And so recently I was sharing with a group of mothers in Canada. One is Ekmat. Ekmat means one direction. That is Srimat. Ek bal, that is one strength. Ek bharosa, which is one faith. And ekta means unity, oneness. And so to bring all that, Baba puts us on the service field. Service field is not for others to connect to God. That is one thing. But service field is for me to create my dharana, to experience, to become powerful and feel what Baba talks about in the Murli into my practical life. So whether it's renunciation, tyaga, tapasya, whether it's any principles of dharana, whether it's faith, whether it's strength, everything is experienced on the service field. So we actually sometimes feel service is in a box. I go out there, I give a talk, and I talked to about 1,000 people, and I lectured, and I was praised, and that's not service. That's fine. It's a message I'm sharing, and I need to do that to bring this message to other souls. But what is my stage at that time? Am I soul conscious? That is the practice I need to make there on the service field. Am I humble? Do I have sweetness? Do I have tolerance? All that I experience on the service field. So I always feel whatever the experience would be, pleasure or hardship, both are most welcome in this life, Brahmin life. I'm a little bit time conscious also. I still have 5 minutes. So I remember in the early days of service, I always used to hear the word Baba says, whatever situation you have, you should adjust in that. But when you hear that version, you feel situations are always bad and a lot of hardship and a lot of simplicity and sometimes even nothing. But this experience was completely opposite. I was going to go for service in Tanzania. That time we didn't have any service there, no centers, no Brahmins, nothing. And so one of our Baba's child wanted me to go with them, the couple, the Yugal, to their friend's place and do service in Tanzania. So I said, all right, let's go. So we drove there. I had no idea where we were going, and when we arrived, in fact, they also never had that idea. Because when they were young friends, they were so young, like in school, and they had heard that they are settled and they're grown and they've got a huge, huge business and whatnot. So when we arrived there, that place was just unbelievable. It was like a huge mansion in front of the sea. It wasn't a beach, but it was like a cliff. Yeah, a cliff. And we were accommodated there. And long story short, now this was completely opposite from simplicity to extreme royalty. And this brother had cooks and chefs and all that. They don't scream and talk at the table and say, bring this food, bring that food. He'll just ring a little bell, and that bell is of silver and all silverware. And you have to bring your food, Brahmin food there and eat with that etiquette with them, And so you have to adjust sometimes in situations like that also. And so Baba gives us all different experiences on this field of service, just to bring our royalty, simplicity, and purity in front of the world. Om Shanti. Thank you so much.
Om Shanti Pratiba Ben.
Love to come and see you all. I would love to come to Baba's house, but at the moment, drama is not allowing us. My Lokik mother is also here. We are with my Lokik brother here in the house. And so Kaki also is giving a lot of regards to the family in South Africa and those others who join with us. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Pratiba Ben. And thank you for your precious time and the rich experiences over the years with Baba. Really treasure so much. And on behalf of the South African family, we want to thank you and for giving us this time, and you enjoy your stay in Johannesburg, and a special love to Dubai and Kaki. We remember Kaki with such fond love. Even our Kaka used to come and give so much time to all of us and did so much service as well. So thank you, my Ben.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So
we'll just have a
one
moment
song
of silence.
Yes, okay.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I invite everyone to put your cameras and wave to Pratiba Ben.
Jai Bhai, Sister Shirley, Jyotish Bhai. Beautiful. Nice to see all of you. Sister Eva, Yogesh Bhai. Oh, Yogesh Bhai is there. That's very nice. And Brother Derry too, Indrani Ben. I have a phone, so I have to see, oh, Pratiba Ben and Dipti Ben, Avinal Bhai. Oh, I can recognize all of you. That's interesting. Here, Brother Guhan from Botswana. Oh, Nilima from UK, but former Zimbabwe. Vidya Bindaya, Dikshita Ben. All of them. That's lovely. I wished only South Africa. Oh, Mozambique. Aruna Ben, Kalpana Ben, Hina Ben. That's wonderful. So it's not only Rupa Ben is there. Rupa Ben. How is Grace Ben doing?
From Zambia also, Ben.
Ah, good, good, good. Grace Ben. Lovely. And
from
so
Zambia.
Oh. Huh?
Sanjay from Zambia.
Still and Padma Ben is there. Then some galaxy, but I can't recognize. Oh, Silanbai, Padma Ben, Om Shanti, Brother Bridge, Om Shanti. And then Galaxy Note 5 is there, but I can't see, I can't recognize the face.
Man from Zambia.
Who's Sanjay. From Zambia?
Sanjay.
Oh, Sanjay Bhai from Zambia. Wow, look, so many are there. Not only South Africa. Wonderful. So nice to see all of you. That's lovely. Om Shanti.
And Mozambique also is there.
Yes, Gloria. I saw Gloria. Yeah, Mozambique is there. Is Swaziland also there? No. Brother Derry too. Dipti Ben. Om Shanti, Sister Belinda. Where's Shuna?
Shuna is in Jeffreys Bay at the moment.
All
she's
right.
she's actually
Ah.
here today.
All right. Om Shanti, and be safe under Baba's canopy. Om Shanti, Sister Eva. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om
Om
Shanti
Shanti.
Pratiba Ben.
Om Shanti Jai Bhai. I can recognize your voice also.
Om Shanti, thank you.
Om Shanti.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Acha, Hina Ben. Hina Ben is from where?
Om
I'm from
Shanti.
Pittsburgh.
Hina from Pietermaritzburg.
Oh, all right. Silin Bhai, Padma Ben, are you okay?
You're right, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Lovely. Yogesh Bhai, are you from Zambia? Oh, Yogesh and Dipti, very nice. Nilima. So you see all these souls. That's great. Om Shanti. I know we don't feel like leaving, but this is technology. We'll have to live.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.